This is practice quiz 1 for quiz 7, Algebra 2B in the second trimester. State the equation using an exponent. So square root means to the 1/2 power. At what point is there a minimum? Determine HK. So we take the inside equal to 0, that's your H. And then whatever number you're adding on the end outside the square root is your K. What is the domain? So now we take the x minus 2 greater than or equal to 0. True or false, the range is the set of all real numbers. So you can look at this. This is where you take the K. You might want to look right here. So A is positive, so you take this. So 0 is less than or equal to y, or y is greater than or equal to 0 is the range. So this is false. True or false, the equation written with the exponent should be y equals x minus 2 to the 1/2. That's true. So you're just looking at your answer to number 1 up there is all. Okay, so got to do a couple of these now. So this is a square root, which means that all of this is now going to have some meaning. Okay, so Q is 2. Again, that's the denominator there. A is 1. H is going to be 2. K is going to be 3. And so we have a max or min point. Since this is positive, it's a minimum. We can come down here and circle minimum. So to get this, we need to take negative x plus 2 is greater than or equal to 0. Be a little careful here. So watch this. So when you divide by -1, you have to reverse the inequality. That's the domain. And you can always check this out. So we're using this one here. So 3 is less than or equal to y, and we can turn that around. You can always check this out on the graph. But once we're done with the graph, we'll look at it to make sure that the domain and the range makes sense. Okay, so this part of the table will not exist. And we're going to actually go this way, get some whole numbers. So 2, 3, and 1, 4, and -2, 5, right about there. So this will be what it looks like. So you can tell, I always talk about the box technique, like putting this box in. So like everything greater than or equal to 3 is the range, and everything left of 2 less than or equal to 2 is the domain. So you should be able to check the domain and range out once you are done to make sure that it makes sense. So negative x plus 1 to the 1/3 minus 2. Okay, so Q is 3. We've got a symmetry point. A is 1. H is going to be 1. K is going to be -2. Okay, so again, this does not matter because this doesn't even come into play. All that does not come into play when it is a cube root. So the domain is all reals. You can just say all reals and all reals for the range. Make sure you have y though. Okay, so this point 1, -2 is a symmetry point. You need to have that. You need to have the HK. So this is, you got to go to your table, get some whole number points. Once you go one way, you can go the other way. So that's 7. So we go 7 to the left, and this will be -2. Oh, I'm sorry, 0. I went the wrong way, 0. But you actually can, once you get a couple of them, go the other way and figure it out. All right, so what I'm saying is the HK, the 1, -2, needs to be right here. That tells you where to start. Okay, so 1, -2, 2, -3, and 0, -1. These points are in a row. And then 9, -4 is out here. And then 1, 2, 3, -7, 0. So again, it does keep rising. And when it hits this point, it turns over in the curvature. That's a symmetry point. So like if you flipped it around 180 degrees, it would rotate onto itself. That's another way to think about it. So again, domain and range, because we can't get a box around this at all, is all reals. Okay, application problem. So if you want to do algebra instead of looking at the graph, this is, you're just going to look at this as y equals 26 times x to the 1/10 power. That's what that is. So this means when y is 39, the plural birth rate is 39. Solve this for x, knowing that x equals 0 is really 1995. That you got to keep straight. So take this over to the left, divide it out, and then you're going to raise each side to the 10th power, the reciprocal power, and you get about 58. So then you're going to add 1995 plus 58, 2053, because x equals 0 is 1995. So we want to, given this x, so we need to figure out what is x. So we need to subtract 1995 because that's our 0 year, so 25. And then we're just going to put in 25 for x and crunch that out. And this is going to be about 35.9 for the plural birth rate in year 2020. Okay, and so your spiral is going back to this material. So this is -1, 1, and 3. So at -1, we have a multiplicity of 1. At 1, we have a multiplicity of 1. At 3, we have a multiplicity of 2. So that's going to tell you how to make your factors, what power to put on your factors. So there it is. X plus 1 times x minus 1 times x minus 3 squared. That's going to be your, and the degree is 4, so it's even. The leading coefficient will be 1. Okay, so if you just do 1x times 1x times 1x times 1x, it is 1, so positive. The y-intercept is going to be -9, so you can even look at that. Hey, that's -9. Left and right end behavior are both positive infinity. So you can look at the graph and determine that where the end's going. And this is practice quiz 1 for quiz 7, Algebra 2B, second trimester.